Hi everyone, and a really warm welcome to Squeaks and Nibbles channel with me, Lucy. I'm really excited to show you one of the more unusual and fun parts of bearded dragon keeping today, and it's bath time. So you probably know that bearded dragons are from Australia and live in what's generally thought of as very arid regions. It's deserty and rocky and hot, but they do still need to have a good soak every now and again. There are varying views between reptile keepers on how often you need to soak them, and in fact some that believe you don't need to soak them at all. However, for my bearded dragon, she definitely needs the occasional bath to help keep her feces, her poop, flowing. So I saw this morning that she was having a bit of a strain when she was trying to go to the bathroom. So yeah, so I'm going to give her a bath, and the first thing that I'm going to need to do is get the little box that I use for this purpose and fill it with warm water. It's really important that you don't pop your bearded dragon into water that is less than room temperature, ideally a little bit warmer than that, because it'll be a bit of a shock and quite unpleasant for them. You also want to make sure that they can stand up, otherwise it can be quite scary for them, and get their head out of water. What we'll probably see today with Jelly is when I pop her in, she looks slightly unimpressed. She is a colour morph, a variation. She's a little bit oranger than your usual bearded dragon, and one of the interesting things about that you'll potentially see, she doesn't get cross very often, but when she does, her beard goes orange instead of black, so keep a little bit of an eye out for that. But yeah, without further ado, I'm going to go and prep the bath, and we'll pop her in, and I'll avert the camera if it's successful, so you don't have to see the excavation of poop, but it's very cute when she's a bath. So yeah, I'll show you how to do it. This is my gorgeous girl, Jelly, ready for her bath. And we do choice-based handling with Jelly. So she knows that if she comes to the window when I'm in the room, that I'm going to open the door for her. As you can see, she has trampled her breakfast all over the place. She was unimpressed with salads. Are you a bit hungry? I think you probably need a bath. We're going to pop her out and into the bath and see if we can't help her to, yeah, have a bit of a poop. How you doing, gorgeous? Hey, gorgeous girl. I'm going to give you a bath. It's bath time. There we go. There we go, lovely. Have a nice warm bath. And we'll see. There we go. What do you reckon? Do it all right? So you can, if they're not bothered, you can gently just pop some water over their back like this. As you can see, she's gone quite flat, so she's not overly happy with the situation, but she's not black bearded or anything like that. She just quite wanted to be left in her house. She'd changed her mind about coming out, but unfortunately, even sometimes when you ideally want to do choice-based handling, you do have to make the decision for them if it's to do with a care issue. And for her, she's not pooped for a few days. I saw her straining this morning, so we're going to give her the opportunity to empty her bowels. What a lovely topic for a video, but a very beautiful lady. It's all right, sweetheart. Yes, it is. You'll be okay. What's that grumpy face? Yeah, all right. So not only does it rinse off any potential dirty particles on her when you pop water over the top, but what it also does is help to keep her whole body warm, because obviously she's in the warm water, but her top half is out in the room temperature air. So you'll know if she starts to poop or is about to, and I'll know to be able to take my hand out of the water, because what happens first is the tail lifts up in the air. So you'll see a proper rise from about this point here, and then she'll start to go. I'll leave her here for a minute. I'll pop the camera down because she doesn't love having it in her face, and we'll let her have a bit of a bath and we'll see how we get on. Yeah, you're a good girl. You will sometimes find that bearded dragons as pets
are not inclined to drink out of a water bowl, and some people bathe their beardies regularly because the only time that they'll drink is when they're in the bath. And she does occasionally drink when she's in the bath, but it's not a typical thing for her. Normally she just sits with this very unimpressed look on her face and waits to be let out. But hopefully it'll help her to dislodge what's a bit stuck, and she might take a little drink, which I do think helps to push everything through. If you want to encourage your beardie to drink if they're dehydrated, and don't do this, it's not overly nice to do it otherwise, but what you can do is take these little drips of water on your hand and see how they're dropping off like that, off the ends of my fingers. Do that onto the end of their nose, and I do find that that encourages them to dip their head into the water if they weren't doing it otherwise, and to have a little drink. You can have a little drink, Jelly. Jelly does have a water bowl in her enclosure that she uses, so I'm not too worried on that front, but we'll see how she gets on. So she's starting to look around a little bit more now. She's been in the bath for a little longer, and she's not the biggest fan of the water, but she's tolerant for the most part. One of the things to do if your bearded dragon has got something a bit gross stuck to them, like they've walked through their own poo, which they mostly do on occasion, then have an old, and get ready to throw it in the bin after you've used it, toothbrush, and simply use that to scrub the area where the poop has got stuck, nice and gently. You don't ever want to scrub too hard, of course, but just a little bit of a gentle scrub. Don't put any of your soap products or anything like that in the water. Warm water by itself and a little brush is absolutely fine. When you're done with the brush, what you'll want to do is to hold it over your toilet bowl, pour bleach onto wherever the should we call it substrate, to wherever the gross stuff has got stuck. Pour bleach onto the end of the toothbrush and then pop it straight into the bin. So for biosecurity, you don't want to pop bearded dragon poo or any other reptile poo straight into the bin or indeed outside. Always make sure you pop a bit of bleach onto that first. And the same is going to be true of this bath water. So you can dispose of it straight into the toilet, but I recommend bleaching into the toilet with it while you do it. And especially important if they have pooped. So don't put it into the bin or chuck it outside your backyard. Put it into the bath and make sure that you chuck a good load of bleach in with it when you do. Are you done, gorgeous? Do you not need the bathroom? I think you might have. You're so pretty. Are we coming out? Do you want to come out straight onto your towel because you're all wet? Do you want to climb out? Yeah? I'm not impressed. Is it time to come out? Are you going to climb out onto your towel? You're so soggy. I'm going to have to put my phone down to film. Are you going to pick up? What are you thinking? Oh dear. I don't have any bugs. You had bugs yesterday. What do you think? Gonna come out? Good girl. There we go. And then we just quickly dry her off on the towel there. Not too much. And remember, we never want to cover their head because they've got the third eye there. Don't go running off. And then we'll pop her back into her house.
I hope that was useful for you. If you've not given your beardie a bath before, give it a try. Most important points: warm but not boiling hot water, so it should feel slightly warm to the touch, just above room temperature, but not too hot. If the beardie stays in there for a little bit of a longer period of time, you might need to have a jug of warmer water to top it up to keep the temperature up for them. You want to make sure that your beardie can stand up in the bath, and if they show signs of being distressed, pop them out and try again later if necessary. Or obviously in extreme situations, if they've not pooped for quite a while, for example, then you do need to have a chat with your local reptile vet. But hopefully nice easy process. Shouldn't need to be more than 10 minutes maximum for most of them in my experience, and yeah, generally they quite like it. Yeah, give them a good pat afterwards to make sure they're nice and dry, and then pop them back under their hotspot. Mine tend to just stay there for a while afterwards. But yeah, good luck.